Oh boy, we take 1 week off and we're rusty as hell.
This is what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not scissoring at all this week.
Mm-mm.
Oh, gosh, what is this? 21, 22?
22.
We've been very committed to this. I'm very proud of us.
It's all for you, baby.
We actually did. Like, we're almost halfway through the year of doing this. 26.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been
Yay, us.
6 months. Yeah.
Yep. And two AIs.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the worst Partridge in a Pear Tree song ever.
Y'all are welcome. Y'all are welcome. You know you were entertained.
Especially at the end when I was writing that. I'm like, this is hilarious how German Lady Lou says woke. So that's why I just had to say Volka, 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 Volka.
Duke with a good shirt.
Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Who
I was
shops?
hot and sweaty, so Harley Quinn pop.
Oh yeah. I just went with something.
That's perfect shirt for you.
Yeah. I mean, how do you not wear this shirt every day?
I did a tattoo. That's gonna be my cutie mark.
Right?
Here, where the Crusaders at? Look me up.
You're like a Care Bear.
That would be so cool.
What's your special power? Being right? No, it just sounds like you're arguing. Nope. You just haven't come around to my point of view yet.
You're arguing. I'm
if
not
you
arguing.
let me explain.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so last week we're going to talk about Comic-Con, right? We're going to move on with our lives.
Yeah.
This guy.
Wait,
That's cute.
Naz, we got to talk about returning registration and
We still have
next
that
month
coming
already.
up. And well, is it September? Yeah, end of September, right?
September, yeah, and then open in October.
Open in October. They changed.
Oh
it,
yeah,
moved
so
it
we'll
up
take a
month
couple
this year.
episodes off of
There we
talking
go.
about Comic-Con.
Yeah, then we'll come back to it when it's registration time, and we'll either be excited about it or we bitching that we didn't get in and we have to fight the crowd in October.
Yep, shameful. Anyways, did you guys have fun? Party time?
Hell to the yeah! Always a good time. Got my boys there, got my girls there. It was great. I don't get to see the little ones all that often, so that's always fun. Didn't get to see the missus all that much, though. I know she had things going on. She had scheduling, school, blah, blah, blah. Totally get it.
Yeah, she said she wasn't feeling. I think because she wasn't there the whole time. Like by the time you have to work your way up to Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because that was like her first day, she's like, eh. And then it's only Saturday. So what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Since she didn't get there until Friday, so we'll see. We'll see next year. She won't be in school anymore, so
yeah.
Or so you
make her
think.
enjoy it.
PhD
No,
time.
I'm putting an end to master degrees. 2 is enough.
The only master she's going to be doing is Bashan.
Yeah, because I'm gonna move out.
I'll say that's because Jack's going to be in the casita, but that's okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The Mojo Jojo Casa House.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
It's all
yeah,
about the patriarchy.
absolute blast, super fun. Wish I knew about the Doorables and paid attention to that sooner. I would have been 6 a day. I would have been all over it. Plus, it's kind of fun. They're kind of cute. I mean, it reminds me. I don't know. Do you remember those 2-packs? I can't remember what they were called back in the day, but they made 2-packs that kind of look like these Doorables, but probably
They were bigger.
Yeah, 1.5 or twice the size of these Doorables. I can't remember what they were called, but they were. Oh man,
I bought some Doorables, but then I must have misplaced them.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
My bag.
Yeah.
I will let you know that the 24 edition Vaders were not in the ones you gave me because you had to open those.
Yeah.
No, she had to open those the night of. So we only opened them Wednesday and Thursday night, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I didn't open them until I got home. It's because we were busy. Thursday night.
Thursday night was the Thursday night was the shit show.
Yeah. Stupid Deadpool.
Man, I'm trying to think. Well, hell, I just opened. I had 2 of the exclusives and 3 of the regulars from the con, and they didn't get open until 2 hours ago.
Right.
And then I promptly went to Target to get more. $97.99 later after tax. But I also got some. It wasn't just the Doorables regulars. I got some of those cruisers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody already went through it and took the Chewy. There were two boxes. I was like, there were three boxes. There were 3 boxes of the cruisers, and they were already gone through. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I got the R2, the Grogu, and the Ahsoka. So the Vader wasn't there. The Chewie wasn't there. I think I got a 3PO as well. So got to get a Wicket.
Fun times.
And then I didn't pick it up yet, but I did see they had 4 of the Holo set.
Oh yeah.
So
you only need one of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just a one-up because all of them are in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I go back to Target tomorrow to look for the Greedo that I'm missing, I'm going to grab one there.
Fun times.
Okay, Duke, I want to hear your story, man. You ain't been in a decade and a half about. So what did you think? Coming back 15 years later, give or take.
I mean, the biggest thing for me when I would tell people is that it was just good to hang out with you guys, like that, even when we meet up and do things like, it's usually we're like slammed doing stuff the entire weekend. And while that was a large percentage of the time, like getting to go to the movie as a group and stuff like that, to me was, made it all worth it, because I flew in like the night before and then you guys all joined me, on Wednesday. Yep. But I mean, again, a decade and a half ago, all 3 of us, like I was thinking about it earlier because people, everybody's been asking since I've gotten back, and like the group dynamic has changed in so many ways. I think we talked about this a little bit about, a decade and a half ago, our group was like 10 strong, and even if we weren't hanging out all the time, we were meeting for dinner, we were meeting for lunch. Like there was windows of time, the fact that we would get like a section in Hall H that people would just kind of hold the fort throughout the day as things went on, a lot of that kind of stuff, the fact that we would be up at 6 a.m. every morning and be going till 7 or 8 o'clock at night every day, not even doing panels or anything, but just buying stuff to sell or buying stuff for, our collections. And so coming to this now and having all of those old habits and old kind of memories in place and having things be different. We now have kids in the group. The group is much smaller and much more condensed, it's not, it's like a refocusing of the people that are important to hang out with, and then so, that's why it's like, well, I probably would have never went to the law panels if Lou hadn't gone, hey, let's go to the law panels. I'm going to the law panels. And they were super interesting. There were some aspects of them that were super cool. Sitting, even the stuff that I did on my own, when I left early on Saturday because you guys had stuff to do, but it wasn't anything that I was super interested in. Heading back and just sitting at the hotel bar outside watching the sunset, just drinking and just kind of like letting it
chilling.
Behind the ocean at that.
Yeah. Just letting it all kind of, wash over me. And again, it's, the question that always comes up is, are you going to do it again next year? Are you going to do it again next year? And it's like, well, I'm still, not that it had nothing to do with how good of a time I had. It was the amount of work and money that went into it. It's like, okay, do I, being new again to this, do I want to commit to that every year being the case, And I know there's some flexibility, timeshares and that type of stuff, but, even so, I'm flying the furthest as far as flying goes. And from, Lou, you have a little bit more travel time, but you're also making it a family trip and that, there's other things that you're doing with it.
Yeah, having my family in Vegas and some friends in Vegas, I can break it up a little bit versus you going straight in from Portland.
Right. And like, for next year, for example, I mean, I only get 3 weeks off a year right now for vacation. It's like I'm already taking probably 2 or 2.5 weeks off for Japan. It's like, do I have time to take off to go to Comic-Con? If I show up at Comic-Con on Thursday night, is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday going to be worth it? We were just talking about that with the wifey. She showed up on Friday night after being on the road for 7 hours. And ain't nobody going to want to go deal with people after being on the road for 7 hours when you're expecting to be on it for 2.5, you know?
Right.
Like, and then you get one day at Comic-Con. Okay, well, that's cool. But like, I mean, we were even talking about that with the exclusives and even some of the panels and stuff. If you buy a Saturday ticket and you show up hoping to get something, you know, how much of that stuff was already sold out that previous years they had done a daily allocation of, you know, that type of thing. So, I mean, we'll talk about it as we get closer. But, I mean, I had a really good time. I enjoyed myself a lot. It was, you know, like I said, this is the most time we've spent together in years. You know, every other time that we've spent together, it's been like, okay, we're doing 2 days of Disney and that's it, or 3 days total, you know. So, you know, the kids adds a different dynamic, you know, because, like, again, we weren't looking at things through a kid's eyes is much different than looking at it through, you know, our own eyes, you know. And I know, like, Jack spent a lot of time with his oldest because she was super into Fallout. So it's like, okay, cool. There's things that I can share that I've been doing for years and decades at this point that now I can share with you, and we can go have moments together, whether it's, you know, spending way too much goddamn money on a poster or going to a panel talking about stuff in Fallout, you know, like, or going and getting an autograph or you know, like those types of things that I'll never get to do more than likely. And, you know, Lou still has a chance, maybe, kind of, sort of, but, you know, we'll have to see in the long term about that. But, you know, so it's things like that where a decade and a half ago, we would never even have had those conversations, you know? And so to me, that was very interesting. It was interesting to kind of like work through my old habits and remembering what we used to do and applying that to today. Also, the fact that it's so much bigger, you know, when you have to take a 25-minute walk to go pick up a T-shirt, you know, like that's no fooling when you're like, oh, like you literally can't even fit the redemption room in the convention center anymore because you have so much stuff going on.
Hold that thought, because just because you're talking about redemption room, and I don't want to lose this. Do you guys remember where the redemption room used to be? Because I don't. I can't remember.
I thought it was upstairs. I always thought it was upstairs in one of the smaller rooms.
It might have been.
Was it ever in the hotel next door versus the one next door?
None of the times I ever went to a redemption room, because again, the last time I went, 90% of it was still in the convention center. So I always thought it was in one of the smaller conference rooms, but now a lot of those have been converted into larger conference rooms. You know, now it's 6A, B, and C instead of 6A and B. You know, that type of thing.
Okay, because I was sitting here thinking about it earlier in the week, and I was like, where the hell? I think I was putting clothes away. I know what it was. My What We Do in the Shadows T-shirt. I was like, okay, I was hanging it up, and it was like, wait a minute, where the hell was that room 10 years ago, 12 years ago? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only remember.
Like, that's just where we go.
Yeah, that's the place I remember these days.
And it's so much different than it used to be, because it used to be you'd walk up with the ticket and then they would go and pull the stuff for you. Now you walk in and they have like if you have a yellow ticket, like go booths. Here. If you have a green ticket, go. They have different booths that are set up.
I do remember that. You're like, hey, this is the ticket I have. And they're like, oh, well, that's this. And they would go and grab it for you.
I might not have gotten anything back then because I didn't really do a lot of things. Back in the beginning, I was just shopping a lot. Not too many panels I went to had swag. So
well, and again, I think I made this comment during the week was that I probably attended more panels than I had the entire time, not counting Hall H, but Hall H is I always view Hall H as different than all the rest of the stuff. Because Hall H is just more kind of spectacle. You're going for like the big pop, right? There's no big pops happening in 6, D, E, and F, right? You're going because they're talking about Galaxy's Edge or something like that, but there's not any surprises. It's not like they're like, and here's Robert Downey Jr. to talk about Galaxy's Edge, you know? And so I think as far as like panels, I think this time around, I probably saw more panels than I had the entire time I had gone to Comic-Con before, you know? And a lot of those were interesting. I mean, when we went to the first Law one, the Autobots one, we showed up early and they were doing like a pop culture showdown thing.
Oh, the
with,
comic one.
They were doing a comic book
cool.
one where they gave you like a paddle that you then could take with you, and it's a podcast that basically they take two kind of they have like a tournament style. In this case, it was I think it was like timelines or multiverse.
Well, it was just comic events, like
major
Wars
comic events.
2015 versus Secret Wars, 20 years ago, and then it was that versus the Infinity Crisis, and what would you take on the Death of Superman versus
Flashpoint?
There you go, Flashpoint. Yeah, and you just vote on which one you would root for which was the better story.
And they had a bunch of people up there. I mean, again, I am always impressed with the people, the amount of knowledge that the people who are up on the stage have about whatever the topic is. Like, I've never gone to a panel where I just go like, why is that person up there? When we went to the Acolyte one, and this person's like, I'm a judge, and I'm a judge, and I'm a circuit judge, and I'm like, oh shit, like, and then Lou about jumped out his chair when one of the judges stood up and had the Justice for Jackie shirt, and he's like, good old 3-hole punch.
Although I hate to say this, y'all know how I feel. The Law of the Acolyte was better than the Law of the Autobots panel.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have. I like them both. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was close. The Law of the Acolyte was just a better.
The people at the Law of Acolyte definitely were more passionate about the topics they were talking about than the Transformers one was. I felt the Transformers one, I enjoyed it because of the information, but I also thought it was kind of dry.
Yes,
the guys who were the people.
How would I put it? Like, you're in class. It was too much.
It was
class.
a lecture.
Like a lecture.
Like this lecture. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for, guys. So it's that. Here's the law in Utah. Here's the law here. Okay, next topic. It was just kind of like, here's what would happen here. The Transformers, the Autobot, they would not need driver's license, but they would need to be registered in Utah. I was like, oh, okay. And then next, like, all right. But the Law of the Acolyte, it was more involved. It was passionate. It was I think that's the word you used, was a great word to use for that.
Was it more like back and forth?
Yeah, a little
it's always
bit.
Like that, when they almost argue it like a court case.
When Lou, you remember when that guy got up to leave and that one judge got on the mic because they had literally just asked the guy the question and he noticed somebody leaving the room and he's like, hang on, I'm going to give a really good answer here.
Right. As the person was walking out, and
this is where the panel gets exciting. Don't leave.
I know. I tell you what was cool. One of the cool things that happened in the Autobots, the Law of the Autobots one was we had your little with us for that one,
right?
And we were the panel was there 5 minutes early, and they were taking suggestions from the audience of what other things they could discuss that would be fun to have at the law class. And your little one actually piped up. It was like Aristocats. And it was like the whole the cat napping situation, and it was like, how will that apply to? It was like, holy shit, she's actually right. That would actually.
But the fact that the guy was right on it when he heard it, because you could tell when he heard it, he was like, we can.
Like, what do I
maybe
do with that? That was pretty funny though. I'm not gonna lie. I looked over, I was like, what are you talking? Like, how do you even know what's going on over here? And the guy was on her side. He's like, yeah, you're right.
I think it was at that point, Lou and I were like, okay, the drugs are starting to wear off. Where's Jack?
Yeah, she pays attention to a lot of stuff. You don't think she is, but she absorbs everything.
She was on it.
On our way back from seeing Deadpool and Wolverine having the 10-minute conversation about how I should become your stepdad and all the dynamics that would be involved in that. And I just said, like, I got out the car and I'm just like, I can't. Well, how exactly would that work? Well, you would just marry my dad. Okay, well,
my mom.
Your mom and dad are married. Oh, it's fine. You can marry her too. No, I didn't want to get involved in your family before. Definitely do not want to get involved in your family now.
Oh, that would be a little awkward. I mean, you could go to Utah, just like the Autobots.
Yeah.
Get registered and go to Utah to be fine.
I mean, it wouldn't be awkward, Jack and I. The wife would be it'd be just constantly awkward for her going forward.
Yeah.
it's already rough enough on her as it is.
Last time I checked, what is it? E&M is a thing. Ethically non-monogamous. Oh man,
It's fine, wifey. I just need 5 more minutes, then you can have the room.
Oh my god.
Before that is cuddling.
And before we jump into Deadpool and Wolverine, I know you brought it up, but before we cut, I'm kind of thinking about, because you brought up panels, and you went and saw a lot. This is not. I didn't give you guys any of this homework, so just whatever comes to the top of your head. But for me, and I might skew you a little bit, worst panel and that I was not expecting to be worse was that damn Star Wars trivia. I thought that would be such a blast. And of all the things I watched, that was probably the worst one.
The people, it seemed like the people but it was not. I think it was disappointing because it wasn't what we were expecting. Like there was way more. What they did was way different than I think in my head how it was going to happen. I was thinking it was going to be more like pub trivia, where they had a group where you had teams, and I think we actually did that at a Comic-Con or a Celebration years ago, where we went into a trivia panel and they had everybody kind of group up, with your party and that type of thing, form 10 groups or whatever. But
I don't know. Do you think the other people in the audience, that they knew who these people were and knew the style?
I don't think that's their normal style. Don't, because that would not translate to a podcast very well at all. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm sure that they just they're those people that go to Disneyland and, oh, look at this and look at this. We're going on Rise of the Resistance now, and now we're on Peter Pan. Those kind of people. I don't know. I didn't look them up. I had so little fun that I didn't.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm good. Moving on.
Did you look up the Star Wars lawyer, Lou?
Oh no. So I know who to. No, I'm good. I was like, they're lawyers. Let me keep my mouth shut.
The last person that asked the question at the Law of the Acolyte, the guy at the front was like, "I recognize that voice. Are you the Star Wars lawyer?" And the guy was like, "Yes, I'm the Star Wars lawyer."
I've seen that dude's podcast a couple of times. He has some good stuff. I like, but I was the same way. His voice is so recognizable.
Yeah.
And when I heard it, I was like, why do I know that? And then when the panelists mentioned, I was like, there it is. That's why, because I've seen a couple of his videos.
How about you, Jack? Most disappointing?
It's the Star Wars trivia for sure. I had 0, even though we won. It was not as fun as I was expecting it to be. So I did win a book. I got a New Republic book out of it. So
yeah, you got 2 books.
Yeah, little one got a book too.
Yeah, she got a Star Wars Creatures book. So, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't care much for the hosts. Bubbly people. I can't fuck with them,
dude. Yeah, and that whole let's fake enthusiasm and oh my god, it was
I can't get down with that.
I didn't have a problem with the structure of it. It just was not what I was expecting, and it was
hyped it up in our head a little bit. Yeah. So it could be on us a little bit. We're like, cool, we're going to go in. We got our team going.
I blame Disney for the cruise, because when you come back with 84, you look like a goddamn decathlete with your 84 badges that you got on the cruise, and it's like, oh shit, there's trivia happening at Comic-Con. Yeah, let's go. Like,
well, if was that yours too, or do you have a different one?
I mean, again, I don't want to this is something that we've talked about, and my experience with them over the years has never been super positive. But I think, how to say this, there were panels that happened before and after the panels that we wanted to go and see that involved a certain group of people who are very, very braggadocious, egotistical. The small thing that they do that benefits society is great, but other than that, it's and then when they get justified by, oh my gosh, we were in Attack of the Clones, we're officially vetted as being in my experience before with Celebrations and doing the diorama stuff with them was always like, oh, you should have reached out to us months ago if you wanted stormtroopers at your thing on a certain time and day. And I'm just like,
yeah, F you guys.
And sitting in that costuming panel where they were like, oh, if you buy a set of armor and what was it? The thing that I was like super pissed off, or thing in my head that pissed me off, was when they were like, oh, if like, for example, Jack has a set of Stormtrooper armor. If I buy the Stormtrooper armor and it happens to have been grandfathered in because the code of order or whatever the fuck they call it has changed, it's fine for Jack to still own that. But if I buy it from him, it doesn't get grandfathered in anymore. And then I have to modify it or, like, okay, I get that you have like a certain level of, but you're eliminating so many people by just like not letting them just. Who fucking cares? Who cares?
They do, and they're always fucking arrogant too. Always.
Right. Yeah, but I had to sit through 2 panels with those guys, and I was just like, so not necessarily disappointing, but it's just like, guys, really, it's been 14 years. Like, I mean, I know your shit doesn't stink, but come on, like it.
You must have had your super eye roll going hard.
Oh, it was. I just hate, like, I mean, and again, we have talked about this before, the gatekeeping, the and we do that. We fully have been guilty of that, right? Where we see people walk in with cosplay and we're just like, that fucking sucks. The reality is none of us are ever going to do cosplay. I'm too much of like a perfectionist. I'm sure you're the same, Lou. And Jack, I don't know why you've never done cosplay, but probably along the same lines.
You forget, me and Jack did it.
No,
Yeah.
Like Star Wars cosplay. Like
Star Wars cosplay.
Sorry, like doing Halloween costumes is one thing, but I'm saying like cosplay, you're,
No, you're right.
And so, but yeah, just like sitting in a room with those guys. And again, like you were talking about with the hosts of the trivia, the like kind of the fake, like, inclusiveness that they try to present. And I'm like, I'm sure when we walk out the door, you're just like, okay, get the fuck on. Like, your costume sucks, like, even if they never tell it to your face, like, people walking up, oh yeah, I've spent a year working on this. Yeah, it's bullshit. Your gauntlets are half an inch too long. Sorry, it doesn't meet our code of costuming or whatever. It's just like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, I could see myself cosplaying Star Wars one day. Probably with it. If I don't do it the next 5 years, I'm not gonna do it. At that point, I'm 53 and I'm just not gonna care.
Yeah.
But I would definitely do it for me, and I would have no involvement with the 501st. For that, it would just be me for fun. I'm not gonna lie, I've always wanted to do something, not even Vader, as much as I love Vader, y'all know how much I love Vader. I actually wanted to do a Lando. Like, I want the the Bespin, not the end of the movie Return of the Jedi, the vest, the Han Solo clone.
The blue
I want
and the
cape. Yeah, I want the cape. I want
I want Donald Glover
for it. It naturally has like that whole Billy D hair from. I remember going back to I think this is why I remember going back to junior high. I think it was junior high. It might have been freshman year of high school, but I'm guessing junior high. And we're learning whatever class we're in, and we were doing marketing and learning marketing, stuff like that. And some of the things you do is, the celebrities will come out, to endorse something. And we were doing whatever our class project was, the 4 of us. I was Lando, promoting, I wasn't promoting beer at the time, but it was whatever we were promoting. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. I think that stuck in my head. So if I was going to do a cosplay, it would be specifically the Bespin Lando. And it's like, okay, shave all this off, just keep the stash. My hair,
keep the mustache ride. And
yeah, exactly. Got to have that.
Like, make sure the hair is consistent, and you got yourself like.
And my hair, if I let it grow out, like instead of shaving the sides, whatever, I let it grow out, it'll kind of have that Lando look, which is why I did it in junior high, because it naturally would do that. But again, zero interest in like, hey, with the 501st thing, dude, I'm doing this for me, not for them. So
All right. So flip side of that, best panel.
Oh, I didn't even think about going that way.
What we do in the shadows.
Wait, which one?
For me, what we do in the shadows. I like the fact that we got to see the first episode that nobody else is going to get to see for like 4 more months, 3 more months.
October, yeah, they get to see it in October, and we got to see it in weeks. So.
The guy who plays I can never remember his name. Nandor. the guy who plays
He
Nandor on
was
the Zoom call,
hilarious.
and like every time they would cut to him, he would be like, "What's the question? What?" He had his teeth in. It was amazing.
He stayed in character the whole time. It was so good. So good.
They were like, "What did you take from the set after the last shot?" And he had a big picture of Nandor behind him, and he took it off the wall, and he was like holding it up. Like, they asked like what sort of special guests that they were looking forward to having on the season, and they mentioned the guy who was in the first episode, and then the guy who plays. I'm having a hard time with names tonight. Colin Robinson. Colin Robinson's like, yeah, that guy. I was really happy, and I was super thrilled when Bill Cosby showed up, and then I was like, oh shit, wow. But sorry. So yeah, so that was my favorite panel, hands down.
Jack, what you got?
For fun, just like straight up entertainment, was the Mortal Kombat 1 panel. They're starting their second season for Mortal Kombat 1. So it's like a extending on the story, everything because Mortal Kombat 1 they reset everything, right? So some characters are chicks now, some are dudes. Everything's mixed up because they restarted the entire timeline. Not even multiverse kind of stuff. Total blank slate. So it's the expansion on that, and then they announced the guest characters that are coming out this season. Conan the Barbarian, Arnold.
Oh, whoa.
And then the screen went black, and you just hear, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And the Ghostface shows up. So that was cool, and they're bringing animalities back. They haven't had those since, Mortal Kombat 3 maybe? That'll be cool. And then he showed us a picture from the Mortal Kombat 2 movie coming out. A picture of Katana's fans and stuff. So it was cool. It was fun. And that's me. Entertain me. So that was entertaining.
So they are moving forward with Mortal Kombat 2 then. The one that was based on the movie from last year, 2 years ago?
From Rona. I don't know. It came out there in Rona. I remember.
Oh, the one that went straight to HBO Max?
Yeah.
I like that one. I know a lot of people didn't. I didn't mind that movie.
Karl Urban is Johnny Cage, bro. We got to watch it.
Whoa, that's happening?
Yeah. It's a done deal, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because he wasn't in the first one. Right?
No, not at all.
No, he was teased at the end. But no, Karl Urban's playing Johnny Cage.
Hell yeah, that's so cool.
And top movie of next year.
Right? It's like, all right.
Mortal
I'm
Kombat
there.
2.
I mean, I can say for me, there were a couple that stood out. What We Do in the Shadows was probably up there. I'm not going to use that one since Duke did. And then honorable mention that would be up there too.
Percy Jackson.
The bat. Oh my god, that dumb bit. Oh my god.
Can I change my answer for the worst
I can't
panel?
believe that wasn't your worst panel, Lou.
Whoa. No, because the panel wasn't bad. The panel wasn't bad. I was like, I actually would consider watching this show. And then that bitch opened her mouth. The girl who got race swapped. I think she got race swapped. I don't think she was black in the books.
She did.
I think Allie confirmed that she'd been.
I confirmed with the 13-year-old that's read the books.
Right? Okay. I was just like, she was just so dumb. She was like, oh, then I ate that one thing, and it's the thing you slide in your mouth. It was like, it's a freaking oyster, dumbass. Okay. And then I got hurt that one time. It was that part of my leg in the front. What is it called? I think the shin. Somebody had to tell her it was called a shin. It was just like, this girl. Oh my god, you dumbass. But no, the panel itself though was actually okay. It was okay.
The part you were awake.
The show eventually. It was
the part that you were awake for.
Yeah, the part that's fair. The part that I was awake for was fine. And the part, and then those moments when she opened her mouth, all she had to do was just not speak, and it would have been fine. The whole panel would. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool that she had. This is.
That's good.
Okay, for those wondering why the hell were you in this panel, it was before What We Do in the Shadows. I was there with Duke for that one, so we were there a little bit early, so we could make sure we made that panel. And oh my god, dude, I'm sweating. I'm so irritated with that girl right now. I'm like hot.
I'm sorry.
Take another shower.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta go take another shower. Is that
for real? Man, to rinse off this sweat because just thinking about. Ooh, Lord have mercy, that woman or girl, whatever. She's probably what. 15, 16. Either
The
way.
YouTube short's going to be kind of cut off right after she says, and she should just shut her mouth. Like,
Oh my! You know what? I wonder if that's on. I wonder if that panel is on YouTube, so y'all can go see what I'm talking about. 'Cause
I was there. I saw it.
Not you guys, just the you people.
You
people
guys.
Yeah,
out
you
there in
people.
the audience
What do you mean
world,
by you people?
all 6 of you? Hey man, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be doomed. So all the memes came out. So I think you people is appropriate this time. But
hear us out.
She's not. Oh my god! Right, exactly. But no, the Batman Cape Crusader one.
Yeah.
That was good. I got to watch the first episode. I know it's all out now. Everybody can watch it now. It came out today, I think.
I think episode 1 came out. I don't think
No,
they all did.
Yeah.
They all dropped.
They all dropped. Okay.
And
The
then-
only
they all
one I've
dropped.
seen.
They
The
all
only
dropped
one
in
I've seen online for reviews for is episode 1. So I just assumed
Okay.
episode 1 was the only one that came out. So
Well, hopefully, whoever's doing reviews will do one at a time and not the whole series.
Yeah.
I mean, or either way, I suppose it doesn't matter. I'd prefer it one at a time, so I can watch an episode and then go see if I miss anything like Easter
Yeah.
egg stuff like that. I like doing that. That was a super fun panel. Again, I was not expecting the I don't know, twists, for lack of a better word, that were happening. It's out now, so I guess it's not a spoiler. But Penguin being a woman, I had no idea that was happening. Jim and Barbara being black? Did not know that was happening. Duke and I actually talked about this a little bit. It was like last week. As long as they're black for a reason and not just to make them black, like throughout the 8 episodes or 10 episodes, whatever the hell it is, give us the struggles and that they had. Again, this is Duke talking here, not me, because he when he said it to me, I was like, oh yeah, I hear you. I could go with that. Like, don't just make them black because they need to check some boxes. Do it because we're gonna have a backstory with Jim's rise as commissioner being a black person in that rise, not just okay. We need to check a box. Okay, we got the Penguin is now a woman. Okay, great. We did that gender swap. Now, who's going to be our gay character? Let's do that. Who's going to be our trans character? Let's do that. So it's like, there you go.
Jack is checking
Jack's
all
covered.
the rest of the
I'll
boxes.
check all the boxes.
Well, I don't blame him though, right? I'm definitely trans woman and I'm gay, so I like women still. It's just crazy how that works out. It is what it is. But that all being said, number 1 panel, especially on the enjoyment factor, Jack, how'd you miss this? The masquerade ball.
That was fun.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that must have been the most entertaining thing I had seen in a
And
long
you know what?
time.
I actually want to watch it in 6A too. Again, like we
Yes.
did. I
Yes.
don't know if I want to be in sales where the party is. That sounds fun. Being in
But-
the actual ballroom would be fun. But it's more MST3K if we go in 6A and watch it there.
Because
Yes.
you're not doing it to their faces. Is that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, they're not
Because,
there.
I mean, they have the balls to get up there and, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
over
'cause
it. It's
they're
like
in
making
ballroom
fun
20,
of
right?
Olympians. Your fat ass sitting at home.
Yep, exactly. But it happens in ballroom 20, right?
Yeah, it's live in 20.
So it happens, and then the overflow party is in Sales Pavilion, and then
Right.
the other room was where we were in 6A.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, what I would want to do is go join the party for the first half, so we can say we did it, and then take our asses over to 6A and MST3K that shit because that was so much fun. It was silly. Again, kudos to all 32. I think it was 32 or 33 contestants or groups who performed. Because, like Jack said, I ain't doing it. So kudos to you. But man, I laughed. I would say all 5 of us laughed our asses off
Mm-hmm.
the whole time. We were there
Yep.
for troops 18 through 33. We missed the first, obviously 17, and it was fantastic.
It was.
I can't
Yeah.
believe it
And-
only
and
took you
next
guys
year-
25. It only took you guys 25 years to figure it out.
Dude, the whole time I'm thinking it's just a cosplay
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah.
Because I saw, like 15 years ago, I saw some cosplay. There was a couple of girls who were doing cosplay, and I saw their YouTube videos or their TV show, whatever it was. And it was like, okay, they get out there. It's a cosplay contest. These are the parts that we made. These are the parts that we bought. These are the troubles we had. I thought it was like that. I did not know it was a talent show. And we've got lip syncing and dance moves, and I did not know any of that.
That's actually a good transition.
Segue?
So for me, like one of my highlights of it was when we were sitting. I think it was Friday. We were sitting in by the food court, resting, taking a break. Everybody, I think at that point we were all trying to just sync back up, and we were sitting next to the guy that the little fed and that type of thing, and his wife. And then that girl came up and said, "Hey, somebody's sitting in this chair," and she didn't say anything at all. And she was dressed up like one of the bad guys from One Piece.
Yeah.
She was sitting there and was just super quiet. And all of us are talking, and we were talking about the horrible experience from the night before with the Deadpool and Wolverine stuff going on and everything. But that, I mean, to be honest, for as bad as it was, it actually worked out fine.
Yeah,
you still got to ride home.
Fine,
you still like the timing of it as far as that was just hilarious to me. We can talk about that story after, but and then like she was like, "Oh, are you guys talking about like weird experiences at Comic-Con?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then she went into like this 15-minute diatribe about this thing that happened at the Her Universe thing where people I think that's actually kind of a cosplay slash design fashion show, and that somebody had like stole like a base garment. Was that
Vogue?
It was like the Vogue. It was
1967. I actually owned that one.
Yeah, it was one that was like everybody knew it, and for some reason she thought by just changing the colors that nobody would catch on, and so there was all this drama because. But she went on for like 15 minutes, and I was like, you hadn't said anything for like the first 20 minutes we sat there. And then when you saw your entrance, you were just like, bam, here we go, guys. Here's my story. And do any of you guys know anything about fashion? Look at us. Does it look like any of us know anything about fashion?
Like I said, man, I've got some Vogue and McCall's patterns from the 60s. Just a collection that was purchased a long time ago when I was buying somebody's toy collection. Probably from the first time, so 2008. So yeah, so when I saw that, I was like, that looks familiar. Somewhere, I'm pointing this way because that's for the bedroom. I think in a closet in there's a box that has these patterns that I still have.
Nice.
That's wild. But I definitely recognized it. I was like, that looks familiar. And sure,
she had like pictures and pictures and pictures, and take a look at this and this. It was, to me, it was just one of those experiences that you're only going to have at Comic-Con, where just somebody comes out of the blue and like has this like amazing story about like all this drama, and they don't know what they're going to do and how they're going to handle it, and da, 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 da. And then she was like, "Okay, cool," and then she's like gone. It's like. Chris Angel, like a fashionable Chris Angel. She's like, "Here's my knowledge, boof," and I'm gone.
That is true. When we were all wrapping up and we're about to get back out to the floor and everything, she did disappear quick.
She's like, "Oh, I'm going to go meet up with my friends now," and I was like, "Well, you're way too young for me, so yes, you should go meet up with your friends now."
Way too young, my ass, man. If she can smoke a cigarette, cigarette's 21 now, huh?
Yep.
So that still works. I do want to buy you a drink. So if you can drink legally, we can talk.
All right. I'm guessing she was on the edge. If not that my age vision is worth a damn at all. But did you guys have any experiences like that came up during outside of that? Just kind of like these like one like somebody? In the moment type of things.
See, I can't think of one. I'm sure it happened.
But that's because you talk to everybody, Lou.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so,
any line I was in, I did talk to everybody.
You did. There was one when we were going in one morning. Somebody looked at my oldest backpack. She has a Pikachu backpack with all these pins she's gotten at Comic-Con through the years, right? So on there are the Target pins from the last 2 years, and somebody asked her about them, and she actually talked to this lady. You know, she talks to nobody.
What? Yeah, exactly. That's why my eyes are big right now. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. No, she turned around. She's like, yeah, no, they were at Entertainment Earth the last couple years, this and that. I don't think they're here this year, but that's where I got them. I was like, dang, all right.
Good for her.
Right on.
Right? And I actually got her to take a picture with the Fallout people on...
Oh, the panel.
Whatever the second one was. Yeah, the second one.
It was the Saturday night panel. Or
the science of Fallout or something?
Yeah, before the masquerade ball, because the person was dressed up as the
ghoul
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. The ghoul.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got her to take a picture.
She really didn't hesitate that much to do it either.
I just had to walk up there and like, come on, take a picture. She's like, okay. So it's
She
just
even
fun to
smiled.
get her.
Dude, she even
Right?
smiled.
And then, and then the next thing Jack knows is somebody's waving a program in his face. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Right.
Well, what happened, sir? We
My
said
13-year-old
we saw you.
smiles.
We saw you talk to your daughter and say, "Go up there and take a picture." And the next thing you know, you were passed out.
Right? We had to break the smelling salts for you, sir.
Yeah,
Right?
and by that meaning, some hairy guy who's been sweating all day just shoved his armpit in your face.
Yeah, basically at Comic-Con, that's
Yeah.
about right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
That
understand
was
how Rite Aid or Right Guard or Degree or whatever doesn't have a bigger presence there. Like,
Dude, right?
I didn't think that's a great
Are you feeling
point,
funky and
actually.
you just come by and they spray Axe on you?
yeah.
You think,
That's what
thanks,
I was
bro.
thinking.
And
Right?
I'm
Did
out.
Axe ever show up
You,
at a Comic-Con?
well, no, you know what it is? They just get the misters at all the entrances, and you walk through, and you're just like doused with.
I
How
thought.
about you, Lou?
What? Hold on.
Oh.
I thought one year downtown across the street, where they're giving away all the freebies across from
Old
Spaghetti
Spice was
Factory.
out there a couple times.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
Axe,
Old Spice
Spice.
has been out there.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought somebody was out there. Okay, okay. Back to me about what?
What was like your kind of single serving friend moment?
Kind of.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
you
Nope.
talk to everybody, but did any interactions you have stand out besides us having to pull you off of the couple fights that you were going to get into?
Being that dude, that little Asian dude, man, he was good.
How about positive experiences?
Well, I mean, nothing that actually stood out as in like, oh, this one person I talked to, because Jack called it. If I was in line, there was a person in front of me, a person behind me. I chatted with them almost the whole time until we got to the front of the line. There were some people at the very first night going to the comic booth, J. Scott Campbell's booth, and
The line that never moved.
basically, luckily I bounced around and I was doing a bunch of other stuff and I got back in line.
Yeah.
But there were some people there that were super cool, telling us their stories, about how they've gotten to comics, just reading stuff for a while. Because I started off with comics probably in 92 or so, 91, 92. I read some way before then, but when I was actually, I want all 3 Batman titles. I want all 4 Spider-Man titles, all 5 Superman titles. That was 92 for me. And I did it for several years, and it was pretty cool. So to talk, listen to people like, oh yeah, or I got my friend has a booth over here, and they're chatting about their stories. That was super cool. There was a girl that we were talking to the last day. I guess this was Sunday then, at the BB Create line. And almost got in a fight there too. So anyway, on that Sunday, but there was a girl behind us, and her boyfriend was off doing something, and she was finishing up her set of pins like we were, and just chatting with her. It was her very first Comic-Con, and she was talking about how she loved it, how she would do things different, especially packing a bag to have the right snacks and all the stuff we learned, right? So to hear her and she's maybe 19, 20 years old. But to hear that story, basically kind of like how we restarted 19, 20 years old doing the exact same thing. It was just, there was a bit of a smirk on my face having that conversation with her for the hour we were in line. So it was, I would think that one is probably the one that stood out the most because it brought me back. It was like, yeah, I remember that. And I still smiled thinking about it. It wasn't like, oh God, it was a happy moment to hear that story. So
there was a moment that when Jack and I were walking around, we went to the Devil's Due booth. That's now a different name. I don't think it's Devil's Due anymore.
No, it was still Devil's Due. Yeah,
but it was a different. But it was like the name was. It was Devil's Due, but then there was they like. I'm guessing it's maybe two different publishers. I remember seeing another name there, but we walked up and they actually had they had a big banner behind their booth that was Disavowed. Is that what?
Yeah.
So it had Disavowed, and it had a bunch of Pseudo, G.I. Joe, and Cobra kind of
I remember that one.
Changed enough that they're not going to get sued. And I wanted to go to that booth since I saw the banner, but we just never got it. We were always on our way to somewhere or something. At one point, I think it was Saturday, Jack and I walked up, and the guy who was running Devil's Due when we first started collecting G.I. Joe from them was still there. And we were like, holy shit, dude, you've been here like 20 years. And he's like, yep. And I was like, man, that's so cool. And like, fist bump and everything. Of course, he doesn't know who we are. But like Devil's Due was where I really got back into comic books with G.I. Joe and stuff, because I think at that point, the Star Wars comics were kind of starting to pick up steam and get good again. And then Devil's Due was like, hey, we're putting out G.I. Joe. We got the license. And their spin on it was completely different than what they had before, while still remaining faithful to the stuff. So now they're like, we said, okay, well, what's the deal? And he was like, well, this is like G.I. Joe meets the boys. Here's the preview. And I flipped it open, and like dudes are getting cut in half with katanas from Storm Shadow and shit. And I'm like, yep, okay, I'm in. Give me 2 of those. Yep, give me the bloody version and give me the regular version. And they're gonna have, if you look it up online, it's under the backer kit. It's not a Kickstarter, but yeah. So they're gonna have a backer kit that's gonna come out for like at the end of the month or something like that, end of August, beginning of September, I think.
The cool part is it takes place during G.I. Joe, right? So like their tagline is the other half of the battle. So they reference things that happen in G.I. Joe without being like, well, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes went on this mission, but they reference it enough. And then what do you say? When they do the flashbacks to the 80s, everybody has laser guns.
Yeah. He said they all go back to the crappy rifle, the generic AK-47 rifle type of thing, and they're all shooting lasers and they make observations on that. He said so. There's like, so
that's cool.
Super excited that guy is still there chugging along. Like, fucking more power to him, dude. With the way the comics and gaming industry has upended itself over the last couple decades, especially if you're not Marvel or DC or EA or Ubisoft, if you're like a smaller company that's just trying to grind it out and you stick with it and don't just like, so I'm super excited for that. And not to say that's going to get me back into comics, because like I was saying, I was at a point where I was getting comics monthly and the box that was showing up was like this tall and there would be 50 comics in it. And I'm like, it would take me an hour to sort through and then collate them. So I was reading them in the right order. So
comics that you didn't read yet.
Right. Yeah. Like, and then it's like, then I have to remember, what was I reading last month? Where were we at? What was going on? If I got busy and didn't happen to read it, and all of a sudden I'm 2 months behind, that's kind of what happened, is like life just kind of slowly kept chipping away at comic time. But super excited about that. So that was another kind of super positive thing that I think happened while I was there. So,
well, I'm going to keep you again, something I just top of my head. I did not think it for myself, so I'll go last. But since you're on that same vein and you're positive, what we all didn't buy a shit ton like the way we used to 20 years ago. But something that you did buy for yourself, are you like, yes, this is the one, or one of 3, or just something up on the top of your list of, I'm glad I bought this?
I would say that walking around, I did not intend on buying anything for myself, right? Like I have a 3-inch pile of art prints and various types of sizes of prints that I've never framed and never put up and whatnot. And so I was like, nope. And then we were in line for something else, and we walked by an artist booth, and they had a really, really nice Fallout picture the artist had drawn of like a death claw with like, I don't think it wasn't a Brotherhood. It was just a regular Vault Dweller, right?
Vault Dweller, I think, yeah.
And at that time, we were kind of in the cycle of buying the older one kind of stuff that we saw that was Fallout related, where we would point it out, and depending on her reaction, we would either move on or we would stop. And she kind of was like, I like the death claw. And then like 2 pictures over, there was a Cowboy Bebop one that was really good with the whole cast and everything. And I'm like, God damn it. So I ended up buying like 3 Cowboy Bebop prints. I bought a new mouse pad that has all the Rebel ships on it. Once the floodgates opened, like, you're like, well, I'm already going to have to figure out how to pack this thing. I might as well buy 2 more. Like, I wish Hardest Alley would not have been as chaotic as it was. That's one thing. That's one negative for me, is I don't remember when we would go 15 years ago. Artist Alley was never that chaotic, and you could walk through and have a conversation with the artist and talk about stuff, and he would do free. What do they call it when they do the little sketch in the edge? Remarks. Like they would do like free remarks and stuff like that. You know, I remember sitting and talking to Joe Corney 20 years ago, getting photocopies because that was all he could afford to do of his prints. Because he had done a bunch of stuff for like one of the Star Wars RPGs or something. So he had a lot of cool kind of almost generic Jedi, generic alien type stuff. And I have that somewhere. But I remember having a conversation with him for like 15 minutes about how he got into it and the art and how he started doing it and stuff like that. But being there now, when me, Lou, and Lou's SO spent 20 minutes trying to find a guy's booth that was like directly across the way from us. But we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're like Googling his name. Like we did all of it. And he ended up being 5 feet from us. Like, to me, that's what? Like,
yeah, to be clear to everybody, we're not idiots. The booth was not marked properly. We knew exactly what booth number it was, but it was not marked. It was like, only a little bit. But for that moment, we weren't idiots. It was just like, okay, we need to go to CC08. Right? It was like, we need to go to CC08. Okay, CC07, CC09, 8 should be right here. It wasn't right there. It was like, okay. Then we looked up, what was it? We looked up, we thought, okay, maybe this girl is supposed to be.
You went on his Instagram and he had posted a picture.
There's that part was afterwards. That part was after. Before that, we looked up some other persons what we thought CC08 was, and because it said CC08, and her booth was supposed to be like DD18. It was like, what the hell? Okay, and then yes, Jack is correct. And then we looked up the Instagram, saw the photo that he posted, saw the orange tablecloth, and realized he was literally across the aisle.
We were like looking at the Artist Alley sign and trying to like, okay, if the Artist Alley sign is at this angle, where is he at in relation to that? Is he on the left side or the right side? Like,
yeah, not even a joke. We did all that. It turns out
we went so many layers deep that we didn't need to go.
No. But I mean, he was probably 8 feet away from us. Like literally, he was 8 feet away.
And Jack's over getting his other prints from the guy. He knows where that guy is.
Yep.
But I will say that to me, as far as like the hall and how things were laid out, the way that Artist Alley was set up to me was not. It was not friendly to the artists because. Sorry, you were going to say.
Artist Alley has been that way for years.
It's a mess. How are you supposed?
They just haven't expanded it. They need to expand it. Tell Funko to kick rocks. They don't need fucking half the hall over there. Yeah. Kick rocks, bro. Let the artists have a little bit of walking room between their booths. There's a couple artists over there where they actually have to have lines. And
Patrick
signs saying end of line cast. Art is getting more popular at Comic-Con, as it should. That's why we're all there. So, I don't know, expand it a little. But you remember towards the doors, going out to the lobby, there's all kinds of empty space over there.
Yeah.
I think that was more for but there were people there who were like more so I wonder if that was almost like a sub autograph area, because there wasn't anybody giving presentations or showing art or anything, but I know I did see banners behind people who were signing stuff. So I almost feel like that was maybe an extension of the sales pavilion or something like that. But it could have, that area could have been used way better.
Just Artist Alley is just always so crowded.
For me, it would be take Funko, move them over to one of the hotel conference rooms, because having all that space over there, clogging up that corner the last 5 years, I mean, come on, man.
And the thing is, people are going to follow it because it's Funko. It's not like people. It's not like people are going to go, "Oh, I didn't know I had to go to the Marriott to go to Funko." Never mind. Like, no,
that
they're going to
never happen. Everybody would know where they need to go, and it would clear that corner up so much.
Yeah,
and especially since it's lotto run only, there's no reason, but people still hang out over there all freaking day, hoping that they can get in.
And they did let people in the overflow. I'll say they did let people in on the overflow. I I wasn't there when they were doing it, but when I talked to a staff member, the first thing, either Friday or Saturday morning, they said if we open it up and we have the last couple of days, so it must have been Saturday, and we had the last couple of days, you can go over here in this line, and when we open it up, you had to have timed it perfectly to be doing the walk when they opened it, and then jump in there. I remember last year, me and SO walked by there accidentally when they opened it,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost got in a fight, obviously. Once she got hit, I was like, oh, hell no. We did not go back to that corner the rest of the weekend last year. It was just too much, man. So even if you don't have to go to the hotel, find a spot in the convention center, so that way you're still connected and want to be part of it. That's fine. But to have the Pop, the Mondo, the Loungefly, obviously the main Funko booth itself, all that over there, leading you right into Artist Alley, and then you have the T-shirt booth right next to that. That is not well planned. That area is not well planned or organized, whatever you want to call it. So we'll see. I doubt they'll do anything, but
no, they won't.
I don't know.
Because it looks good. They're like, hey, look at this. Like all these people here at Comic-Con.
Yeah. So Jack, what was your favorite purchase?
Let's see. What did I go to Comic-Con making sure?
Doesn't have to be the favorite.
I wanted to get. What did I want going to Comic-Con? Dang, what was on top of my list that I was happy if I just got? Probably my Roosevelt shirts. I wanted to make sure that we got those.
And you even got more than you were expecting.
Did you really?
Yeah. No. So
the beach one, the beach one that they weren't going to have.
Yeah, that one.
We didn't know that was going to be there. Yeah.
And then when my wife was with us on Saturday, we went by the Friday.
Was it
Saturday? Yeah.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, we walked by the other Roosevelt booths, not the Star Wars one, but the regular one. And she saw that Mickey Blacklight one. She's like, "Oh, I like that." I'm like, "Oh, yeah. I guess I have to get another one."
Darn.
Right? Dang. See, now I wish I didn't delete my my list.
I deleted mine too, so I'm trying to think of mine off the top of my head as well.
Well, I think the Doorables ended up being a bigger thing than I think you thought they were going to be, right?
Yes. So I've been getting the Star Wars Doorables. You know, like those of you that have video. It's a line of Disney like little blind bag minifigures.
But like exaggerated heads, tiny, like 2 inches, like 2.5 inches, something like that.
If that.
Dude, not even that, dude. This is probably inch and
a half.
One.
It depends on which one you get.
And once they made Star Wars, I'm like, well, I'll check them out, you know. So I have the full set that came out, but then they had exclusives. Different Stormtroopers every day. They had a pearlized one, a gold one, a red one, and Darth Vader. So then they also had a limited of only 24 made of a helmetless Darth Vader. So I'm like, whatever, I'm not getting that, right? But when we got home, and I think it was Tuesday probably, I started opening one, and I got 2 of them. So I am very happy that I got that. But was it top of my list going? No. Like Duke said earlier, with the girls now, I just want to make sure that they have fun. Because, you know, they've grown up. So with Comic-Con, like their whole lives, they've spent their entire lives at Comic-Con. So the big one, she wanted posters. Lou found a 50 edition glow-in-the-dark Fallout poster. So we made sure we got that, and then we got the other one.
Sure, I made sure.
Yeah, we sent Duke over there. Well, because what were we doing?
Second in line.
Because she was going to yesterday's or something on Wednesday?
Yeah, she was going to yesterday's for her pins, because they had Fallout pins. So I gave her cash. I said, go. And then, where did we go? BB Create?
No, we went to Roosevelt's first, and Hallmark to get our line tickets.
Yeah.
Then BB Create, because I went to go join Duke because SO wanted that same poster.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that they get stuff. You know, I want them to have fun, because Comic-Con is not always fun, especially when you're a little kid. because even my little one, she didn't understand that like Wednesday, Thursday was we got to make sure we get all of our shopping out of the way, right? Just so the rest of the time we can have fun. So she's like, "Well, buy me this and buy me that." So I'm like, "Okay, but I'm not just buying you just random junk, right? It needs to be something we can only get here." So
Uncle's
she's super into
go
the
ahead, sorry.
tentacle kitties. Yeah.
Yep. And they
So
had
tentacle
exclusives.
kitty. Yep, they finally had an actual Comic Con exclusive. So she got that.
I'm
But
just
yeah, I
glad it
spent way
wasn't a
too much
blind
money.
bag for the Tentacle Kitty.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this time.
Uncle Lou and Uncle Duke had to teach her that she can't just buy everything at every booth that she wants.
Right.
There were multiple times she was like,
That
"I want
did
this," and
happen.
we were like, "Are you sure you want this?" Like,
Uh-huh.
there's tons of. If you only have to buy, if we're only buying you one thing, is this the thing that you want? I don't know. Okay, then keep
Yeah.
that in your mind. We'll keep walking,
Yep.
and when we get done, if that's the thing that you want, we'll go back and buy it.
I think that
Oh,
happened
hey, here's your dad.
4 or
You should
5
go with him. Bye.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 times she changed her mind. I want that. Okay, no, I don't. Okay, I want this one.
But-
no, okay, I'll wait. Yeah.
To-
So
To
anyway,
be fair, she did find like a Shere Khan or a Mufasa stuffed animal that had a super long tail, but on that same wall, they had 3 different
it was
years.
Raja. It was
of-
Raja or Shere Khan.
Yeah, they had 3 different maps of Disneyland from 3 different eras,
That was
which was
cool.
super
That's
cool.
cool.
So she did show us something that was cool, but not stuff that
Yeah.
This is more
These
stuff
were-
that This is more stuff that you would have since you visit Disneyland way more often than we do. That
Right,
So-
it was like Disney match from like the late '60s. It was super
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
Okay,
So-
so,
But,
okay,
yeah,
so
I
you got
mean-
this stuff for the kids.
But for myself, I like the Hasbro exclusives, the Darth Maul on the Sith Speeder. It's the Black Series 6-inch scale, but it's packaged like the 12-inch Darth Maul with the Sith Speeder was back in
99
ish,
98. Yeah.
So I think that's cool, just like for nostalgia's sake, because I don't have the 12-inch one anymore. So I like that one.
My box got wrecked. I'm so upset.
You know what you do? Here's what you do. Hasbro is likely going to post some in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Get one and then return the damaged one.
All right. I'll be paying attention to chat because I'm sure you guys
Right.
somebody will mention it when
yeah,
they go.
we will let you know when the date comes up. Or are
Yeah.
you? And if you're not a Pulse member, I'll get it for you because it's free shipping. Because
Okay.
we're Pulse members.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out how to do that swap over
Yeah.
later on.
Cool.
Oh, my fig pins, that 500 limited Dark Side set. That's cool.
The Dark Side set. Yeah,
But again, I haven't
that's up
hardly
on
gone
my
through
top
it.
3 also.
I haven't hardly gone through anything just because
Just went
soon
right
as I
into
got
a
back,
box.
it was work. It came back, went to work. Last couple of days been hanging up ceiling fans at the new house, so oh, but you know what was really cool though? The Voltron set. I didn't show you that, did I, Lou? Because you didn't go with us to the Loungefly, right?
Yeah,
It's
nuh-uh.
huge.
The
The
pin?
pin set. I didn't think I'd be able to get it, right? But they still had it because they said it was like super limited to like a couple hundred. I thought. I figured it'd be gone. They did not have the shirt in my size, so I'm like, oh darn, whatever. I gotta save money. But they did have the pins, and they are freaking huge. I really dig those.
Roosevelt was more than happy to take that money you didn't spend on the Voltron shirt, by the way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they were. Yeah, although
And then I bought 2 more
was,
this week.
I was ready to give him some money, but I did not like the bluey hood.
Oh yeah. I haven't gotten into the hoodies yet.
You gave him money for the Muppets, right?
Yeah. I got 2
Animal,
Muppet shirts. I got
and what was the other one?
animal, and then there's the red one. It just has a bunch of little other character heads.
Yep. Okay, I saw
I
it.
like sold.
Because the animal one, when I saw you, I think you sent a picture of that one. I was like, ooh,
Mhm.
wow, that looks kind of good. I think for me, the 5-pack fake pin that Duke was able to grab for me, that one's up there, and then the plush, because I've gotten all the Dinobot plushes that they've done
Mhm.
at Symbiote.
Mhm.
So they had the one from the movie where Sludge's eyes look all crazy. He looks just like a goofy little shit. And that was basically my first purchase one of the first purchases of the night, Wednesday night for me, when I was doing all my roaming around before I went back to the J. Scott Campbell booth and I wanted to get some little stuff for me. I went straight over there to make sure. And while I was there, they had out a set of 4 of the 5 Dinobot pins. They did not have swoop. Either it didn't come in or they just haven't made it yet, but they did say it'll be out later in the year, so I'll order it later. But that was like, didn't know these pins were available, and it wasn't very expensive, like not even $5 a pin or something like that. So I was able to get the Sludge plushie to go with last year's Grimlock, and last year's Slag, and then the year before's Grimlock. So it was like, all right, this is cool. And then they had the 4 pins, so that was up there for me just because little stuff. But me with original G1 Transformers. So with that, the print that I got at Artist Alley, where we were 8 feet from the booth, Jack got a Voltron poster or print from that same vendor.
Yep.
But he had a King Grimlock print, and it was like 80 pieces or so, and I got number 12 out of 80. So that was super cool.
Nice.
Did I think I asked for that? Did you pick me up a Voltron one as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have it, it's probably in one of our stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were 2. There were definitely 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got 2 of them. I remember. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the only thing I would say that I don't want to say regret or sad that I didn't get it, because it's Comic-Con, man. You're not going to get everything. It's okay.
Right.
Would be the official sticker Funkos of Thrawn, Vader, and Diamond Thrawn.
Glitter.
Diamond Thrawn was show exclusive.
And and the Pop Yourself that had to.
No, I didn't want to do that one.
No.
No. Jack actually did that one. It seemed pretty cool. I liked it, but not enough where it's like, oh my God, I need to go do this. I was like, but I was impressed at how fast he went through that.
Right.
Got him done. It sounds like they were on top of it, getting the Pop Yourself with Wolverine and Deadpool. That seemed pretty. I wouldn't have been opposed to doing it, but that was what I wanted: the Thrawn, the Vader, and the Diamond Thrawn. The Thrawn and the Vader, I was able to order Thursday morning, and it's already arrived. I got them in a case, good to go. But I also want official stickers, Comic-Con stickers, and I didn't get those of Thrawn, Vader, and Diamond Thrawn. Luckily, Diamond Thrawn, which I thought was going to be a $600 pop, is like $150. So
that's not bad
at all. With some of the other stuff that I bought and sold, I'm just going to turn around and not even cash out my sales. I'm just going to go find somebody and buy it. So I don't necessarily need the official sticker of the Thrawn, the regular Thrawn and Vader. The Vader I made, depends on what the price is. I will get that one because I have all the other Vaders and official stickers on those. Exactly. The Thrawn, not so much. But that Diamond one is only a con exclusive, so I'd have to get official sticker on that one. And knowing it's only $150, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, Wednesday night where I'm in that J. Scott Campbell line, I bought a $32 comic book that I sold for $114. So I just, you know what I mean? Do that twice, Thrawn's paid for. So, and one of them's already sold.
I did order the Pizza Proto. I was able to get him at a decent price. So
see, exactly. Once I saw the prices were hanging, I felt better about that. So again, hard to say that I'm sad that I didn't get it, especially knowing I'm gonna get it. Probably this week, honestly. But that's probably the only thing that I really wanted that I didn't get there. Not too bad overall. But I didn't want a lot either. My list had like 5 things on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't long at all.
One other cool thing that Jack and I got to do was go to the 20-year Shaun of the Dead pop-up that they had, which was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty simple. Like it was, but it was also hot as
paid for it. Okay, let's say if I had to pay for it, I would have been mad.
Yeah, but for what it was, I like when you walk in there and there's no fans, there's no air conditioning. It's probably 100 degrees in there. I mean, like, because there just isn't any air moving,
at all.
you know. And they're like, "Well, you can play pool if you want." And we were like, "No, we just want to get our poster and get our stuff and go." The funny story behind that is, so we walk up to the thing. It's Saturday afternoon. Everything is sold out except for the T-shirt or the trucker hat. No, not even. They had already marked the socks off. The socks were marked off. Yeah. The only things that were available were a T-shirt and the trucker hat. And we were like, okay, what are the socks up on the wall? And she was like, oh. So then they had somebody like hike up on the wall and pull the socks down for us. So we bought socks. But that was all we bought. I bought a hat, and then we got home, and then I get a text from Jack a couple days later saying, hey, all that stuff that was on sale at the pop-up is now on sale on NBCshop.com, except for the socks. But we got to. I'd never played the Funko game before. Is it Funko
Nobody
Fusion?
has. It's new. It's not even out
Yeah,
yet.
brand new.
Okay, so we got to play the Funko Fusion game, which was pretty cool. I think
It's like a Lego game. I liked it.
There's a ton of. I think there's like a ton of opportunity there, like with expansions and stuff like that.
Console?
I'm guessing
We
probably
played on
console and
Xbox.
PC. Yeah, we played it on Xbox,
We played on Xbox.
but it'll be interesting to see what sort of real world stuff Funko does to make you buy the figures as well.
Oh,
You
they've
know.
already started. They have like a Megan and Sean are coming out. There's a couple others too that are Funko
You like
Fusion
scan it.
branded.
You like scan a QR code or something, and then it gives it to
Maybe,
you.
I don't know. I haven't gotten any of them yet. I don't even know if they're out. I know the little one wants a Megan, so I guess I'll find out soon.
Well, if you happen to see a Sean up, let me know.
Megan, like
Oh,
the
yeah, for
doll
sure.
movie,
Yeah, like
Megan, that they're making a
Yeah,
sequel of that one? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. All right.
Well, and they're making a
Yeah, she
sequel
liked that
too.
movie.
Yeah. I liked it too. I enjoyed that movie.
But I mean, the people that were working at the pop-up were all super nice. We were able to get in a little bit early and get our time in. But yeah, we were not hanging out there for any longer than we had to because it was.
You know, I tell you, I was shocked when because I knew we were trying for Saturday at 5, so I knew Jack got Saturday at 5. When you guys went, and then I got a text message that you guys were done, like on your way back. I'm like, what? What? They let y'all in early? Like, what happened? Like, you guys
Yeah.
were in and
Well-
out. Like, you guys smashed that thing.
Well, we walked up there and we figured if they didn't let us in, we'd just go next door and go to the bar and get a drink and then go back at 5. And they were like, nope, stamp, wristband. Okay, you're in.
Oh,
So
wow.
that
Okay.
actually happened for a
Yeah.
couple of the lines inside too, where like I think for the
Oh, yeah,
Hasbro
UCC
line
did that. Yeah.
and UCC, like yeah, we were in line for UCC, and then I was just in line with him, and I wasn't gonna get anything. And then the guy walks up, he's like, "Hey, do you have a ticket?" And I go, "No." And he's like, "Okay, here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Good looking out, bro.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, so Comic-Con.
No, it was funny. I was going through just shit, dude. Because receipts, email, text messages. I'm going through. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what the hell is this Batman? I forgot that I got you guys those Batman sales. After 4 days, I had already forgotten about it. I'm like, I didn't buy. I'm like, no, I did not buy $200 worth of Batman sales. What the hell? Are you talking about?
You're like, actually,
Like 150, whatever it was. I was like, oh yeah. I actually freaking spaced it. I had no clue what the hell
Yeah.
it was on my receipt. Well, luckily we had like preview night though, right? Because you guys wanted those,
Yeah.
we didn't. So we
Yeah.
was like, I cannot believe they sold out. Because if you remember, I tried to get 2 sets, and one of the Batmans was already sold out for the weekend on night
Yep.
one. But I didn't realize
So
it was
I missed out on one. That's okay.
No, you didn't. You got all
I only
3.
got 3. I didn't get the.
There's only
I thought there were 4 because there was one that was Batman. It was like a
Batman
profile
running.
picture.
Batman running, Batman
Okay.
up close, and then Joker, Harley. That was
I
it.
thought there was one that. Okay, hold up 1 second. I'm gonna grab them.
Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, I was gonna say the other ones were was it Scooby Doo? There were other cells, but not
Yeah,
Batman.
it was a Scooby Doo and Powerpuff Girls.
There we go. That's what it was. Yeah, if you have 3 in your hand, you're good. Because Jack only wanted the wanted the Harley and
I'm back.
Joker. So
All right, so here's one,
yeah, there's the running one.
and then there was like the Jokerized version of it.
Right, that's the one I think that sold out the first night.
I thought there was one that was just a profile, like from mid chest
Oh,
up
no,
of
you
him,
know what?
and then.
I just looked it up. It's just the 3.
Oh, okay. So we didn't. Okay, cool. Because I thought I remember somebody. I think Lou, when you said, "Oh, I got one full set and only one partial set."
Right.
I thought there was 4. So I was under.
Oh,
So-
I see what you're saying. No, okay, yeah, no, I got.
So
a
you had
set of
gotten one
3.
set of 4, and that was for Jack, and then there was a set of 3, which was why we needed to go back to UCC.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It was a set of 3 that I got, and then I got 2 out of the 3 for the second set.
Okay.
But it
All right.
didn't matter because I was like, crap, one of you is going to be asked out. But I didn't realize Jack only wanted the Harley and Joker one. I thought he wanted the full set. So once he said that, I'm like, oh, well, in that case, Duke can have the full set. Jack gets the Harley Joker, and I'll keep the other one, the last one.
What I don't. Okay, so here's something that I don't necessarily. I mean, I kind of have a problem with on this. Is okay. So if I want to hang this,
Right.
so
You're going to lose
So
all the
hang it.
stickers.
right, you have to take all the stickers off to talk about it being a limited edition Comic-Con sticker, all that kind of stuff.
And to
And
see
it's
what
like-
number you got.
Right. Like how else am I? Yeah. How else am I going to know what? Because where's
Their
the number at? The number's
Yeah,
going to be
their
under
number.
here, right?
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing when I was packing it up last week. I was like, "Oh, they're not going to be able to know the number unless they open it."
Well, and they,
Sitting
I
on
didn't
number one.
realize that there was a collectible digital copy of it.
Oh, I didn't even read that part.
Yeah, it says a
Okay.
collectible digital twin included. But
All
again,
right.
you got to open it, and it's like,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
it's like, okay, do I just keep these sealed and then just never know, or
They did that same thing last year. Last year, the big deal was the Funko Marvel cards. Or was that Marvel?
Hmm.
Funko,
Yeah.
Funko Marvel cards, and the cellophane around the box had the San Diego Comic-Con sticker on it. It was like,
Yep.
come on, guys, you're killing me. Just print it on the box.
yeah,
So
Mm-hmm.
for those who want that, but yeah, UCC did that. I tell you what, though, I wish I looked up more UCC stuff for selling purposes, so I could tell you guys that little blue dragon, that Neopet cute little thing that was like $20 or $30. I sold one for $115. Ridiculous.
The green one just sold for $200.
No, that's the dragon you're talking about, Littlest Pet Shop. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
plush.
Oh.
There was I'm talking about the little plush Neopet dragon
I
or
see. Yeah.
Shoryu,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that little thing, whatever his cost was. Yeah, I sold one for $115 yesterday. Ridiculous. If I'd have known
Crazy.
that, I'd have been like, guys, while you're in line, get this too.
Right.
yeah. But I mean,
Man.
that's always the rub with Comic-Con is that there's your guaranteed ones that if you want to buy it to sell it, there's definitely a. And again, I don't think. I mean, we talked about this years ago. None of us are in this to necessarily make a profit. We just want to pay for part of the trip.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And
And if
honestly,
we,
even now though, it's like now that we're older, make better money. I'm
now.
expecting to drop, $4 or $5 grand and not get any of it back. That's how I look at it. Anything that come back after that is bonus.
if we happen to stumble across something that seems to be selling well, and we happen to be in line for it,
Yeah, if it's small enough, like for example, there was one of my buddies wanted a pumpkin head, Syndicate.
the pin set.
No, it's like the box itself is like 10, 11 inches tall. It's an action.
Oh, okay, like a NECA figure.
Basically, yes. It was over on the DC side of the convention center hall, but
Sure.
and actually not too far from the DC booth. It's probably 2 aisles over. But it was Syndicate. He wanted this pumpkin head thing, and I was like, yeah, if it's a walk up line, dude, I got you. Don't even worry about it. No problem. I've known him for a while, so no big deal. And after tax, this thing was $87. But it's selling for $160. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, but the problem with that is it's a big box. I'm not trying to bring all that back. It's like, ooh, let me get 10 of these, and it's like, no. Even though I'm driving, even though I drove this time, I don't want to deal with that.
Mm-mm. Yep.
So,
Well, I mean, even the sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, the smaller the item, the better. That's all.
Well, and even the Hasbro stuff that I bought, the Cobra Commander came in its own box,
Yep.
A
and
tiny
the
box
Darth
like that.
the Darth Maul didn't. I put them both in the box. I put them all together. I faced the window down. I did all the stuff you're supposed to do to make sure, and I pulled that box out, and it had been like, I don't know. And I was just like, man,
Damn
but the
shame.
Cobra Commander, perfectly fine. Box, perfectly fine. No damage.
See,
So-
that's one of those rookie mistakes that you ain't been in a while, because last year I didn't drive. So I had to take stuff back on the airplane or
Yeah.
ship it. And the stuff I took in the airplane went into a shipping box, and then I just put that in the suitcase.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
I didn't know what I was going to end up buying, so the
That's-
Darth Maul was kind of a last
Also true.
second type thing. So,
But
but
like, hey, we
I-
can get in the standby line and buy stuff. Sold.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah. Once I was told that, I was like, I was so excited. I didn't even think about telling you. But plus, I know you had your time ticket thing. I wasn't
Yeah.
worried about it. But then I went through it and it was like, oh shit! If this line is still short, the standby line, and it's going so damn fast. I don't know about
Yeah.
you guys, but I was
It
in line.
did go. It did. Yeah.
And it was like, okay,
It
guys,
went to-
come
I
over
did it
here if you want
twice.
to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They didn't stamp your badge. They stamped mine.
Not
and
the
marked
second
the
time.
zero on mine. Oh,
Not the second
okay.
time.
yeah, and they
Oh,
and they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
stand.
Cobra
And my,
Commander. You were only supposed to get one Cobra Commander. They still sold me 2.
Dude, I bought 3.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah, they did not. They only
Well,
cared about the magic.
it's
Yep.
you know what it is. Again, it's like with everything else at Comic-Con. If you interact with the right person, you treat them with respect, you ask them how their day is. You know, I walked up and was super
Yep.
friendly with the girl that was helping me, and I said, at one point, I pulled out my badge and said, "Do you need to stamp this?" And she said, "Don't worry about it." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, now that you've said that, give me 10 more, 10 more Cobra Commanders and 5 more Darth Mauls."
Bruh. When I walked up to the line, I was like, because I was assuming limit 1, so I
Right.
walked up. I was like, the limit's 1. She's like, yeah. I go, oh, okay. I'll just take 1 GI Joe. She's like, oh, you're not getting the magic? I go, no, I just want the GI Joe. She's like, oh, you could have more than one of that. I'm go, oh, I'll take
Yeah.
3.
Yep.
You know? She's like, okay. I probably could have got more. I just wanted the 3 because I
Right.
knew somebody who wanted one, and
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
I knew I was going to sell one, and then obviously one for myself. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It
why I
was
had
like-
Also,
one
we-
of the guys at work texted me. He's like, "Hey, so how's Hasbro? I need that Cobra
Uh-huh.
Commander." I'm like,
Quick side note: Rattler looks fucking amazing.
oh my god, that
Yeah,
thing was
That
beautiful.
it's
Holy
so
shit,
they
that was
so
beautiful.
the big announcement I think Hasbro had for their next HasLab was it's going to be the Cobra Rattler, but it's good. It looks twice as big as the old school one.
It is huge.
It's crazy. Has fire effects off the rockets. I mean, maybe the Sky Striker did as well, but
If it
they
did,
didn't
I
do a
don't
Sky
remember.
Striker. That was a 3-inch one, so it wasn't as
Oh,
big and detailed. They did do the Dragonfly though, the helicopter for the Joes, and
Yeah, with
that
Wild
one
Bill.
does have that one does have fire effects.
well, I think they're creeping up on tier 2, which was the Gunner.
Yeah,
the 14,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I ain't about to spend $350 on that though. Not with collecting nothing else before that. Sorry.
no. You need to buy 3, and then 2 will pay for your 1.
Well, no, but I don't even want to open the door. I don't want to open that door again. That door was closed 14 years ago, and I already dipped my toe in the Funko world, and I was like, no, stop it. No, stop it. Just put it in my nose. Just I'm just rubbing
But yeah.
Funko on my gums. I can't.
I think I texted the group. I think I texted you guys either Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday. I finally walked by that thing and saw it and was just like, my eyes got big. That
Yeah.
thing was beautiful.
It was sex in a clear box, basically. Like
yeah, it was.
they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, they still got about 1,400 to hit tier 2, but they
Oh,
also
yeah.
have 36 days for funding. So
To get there. So,
yeah,
Well,
man,
at minimum, you're getting that, and you're getting the patch set. So I mean,
yeah.
I think I was going to say, also Sunday again, finally had a chance to walk around. I went to Super 7. The only thing I was disappointed there, I think it got put back online Monday, but they were out of the Gem and the Holograms tour t-shirt. I wanted that thing so badly. It was like, oh,
Damn
it looks so
shame.
cool. Yeah, but they had it back on sale on Monday. I haven't been back to buy it yet, but I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not that sad anymore. Because I finally got over there so late. Honestly, I forgot about it. I knew about the toys, forgot about the t-shirt. Because I did pick up a She-Ra comic, a Witchblade comic. Didn't see any new Gem comics this year. But usually there's like 1 or 2 that I can find exclusive from,
Right.
old school growing up, And it was the She-Ra comic was that, I think I'm going to pronounce this wrong, that Bushido style that the
Yep.
cute, like the
Yeah.
Kodabakaya would do.
Yeah.
So Kodabakaya was smart, by the way. They're handing out their little business cards with tissues, Kleenex. It was like, avoid the con crud that Jack
Right.
almost avoided.
they knew COVID had been kicking.
Thankfully, it wasn't COVID because I'm better
Yeah,
now.
right.
So
Well,
just
could it have been
sleep.
just allergies, you think, for you? Or was it
It's
actual Coke?
California. It's California.
Yeah.
Different environment.
So you have
And
to go
being
to
around
California
100,000
where
people,
uh,
everybody
I was
be
like,
bringing
yeah, so
booze,
150, 180,000.
Yeah.
But at least you know California is where all the loopholes are. So
Right.
gotta be careful about loopholes in California.
And then
Okay,
finish
well,
out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's get ready to round this out. We're hitting an hour and a half already.
Oh,
We're gonna talk about Comic-Con next week too.
I was just going to say that hopefully Jack will put this at the end of the video because he has the picture of our Lou and I's last meal together. We went back to my hotel to pick up my bags
yes, that
before
will
they
be
dropped me
posted.
off. And we went outside and they were still doing brunch. So I had Lou hold up the brunch menu and point to the word brunch and just shake his head.
just like that. Yep.
But guess what? That motherfucker ate everything on his plate from brunch.
I did. I did not leave a scrap.
And some of it's SO's food as well.
Yeah, I did. I was like, did I? I was like, yeah. Where the hell did? I was hungry. I ain't gonna lie, man. It was good though, and considering it was considering it was hotel food, hotel prices, the prices weren't terrible. It was like under $20 a plate, just about. And the food was good, and they had $5 mimosas as well. So
yeah,
it was happening. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good. We left the con, went back to Duke's Hotel, y'all. Had brunch there. Yes, brunch. Picked up the bags and dropped them off at the hotel before we hit the road back to Vegas. So.
And then I couldn't check in until 4 hours before my flight, so I sat out on the breezeway for like 2.5 hours sleeping on my luggage. But I was wearing my Death Star Roosevelt shirt. I got like 4 compliments from people just walking by with me, like, and they're like, "Hey man, that's a new shirt." And I'm like, "Huh? Oh yeah, thanks, man."
How is that a thing where you can't go in the airport? Like seriously,
I think it's something. I could go into the airport, I just couldn't check in. And I think it's something with Alaska because the guy I was sitting next to on the flight back, I was like, yeah, man, like it really sucks to have that huge gap between having to check out at noon and having an 8 o'clock flight. And he goes, yeah, San Diego is the only place that I found that does that will not let you check bags until 4 hours. And I'm guessing it's probably a space thing because that airport's not very big.
Well, yeah.
So I'm guessing like people showing up at noon and don't have 8 o'clock flights, like they just don't have anywhere to put the bags. Like it's a logistics thing. I'm guessing more than.
Okay, I can appreciate that, knowing that. I'm big. I usually fly Southwest. I'm usually at the bigger airports, Denver and Vegas. So for me, that's not going to be an issue. I mean, obviously both are international airports. So
yeah. Well, and also one of the San Diego only has 2 terminals, and one entire terminal is closed right now because they're redoing the whole thing. So I'm guessing they even have less space than they normally have. So, but once I got in there, it was fine. I had to wait a little bit to get into the lounge, but the lounge was fine. They didn't really have any hot food. They had like chili, which was fine, but they had a lot of charcuterie and that type of thing. So
how do you get in the lounge? You pay extra for that as part of your ticket? How's that
I have a credit card that I have a priority pass, but we can talk about that. We can talk about we should have a podcast about travel hacks and stuff like that and what we do.
I've been watching some on YouTube myself. So between I think I've seen about 50 cruise videos and 25 airport videos at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we have our Disney trip coming up, but our next big trip is Japan, so we're gonna have to.
Honestly, that should be the priority. We got to lock that down between rooms and flights. That's the priority.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rather talk about that before we talk about Disney again. By the time we get to Disney, Japan should be a done deal. We should have all that locked in.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And Jack's only going to go on 5. Jack's only going to go on 5 Disney cruises between now and then, so you know.
Probably not. I know we got no time. All right, we'll wrap this up. We'll come back next week. We'll talk about Deadpool. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it, or we're going to spoil the shit out of it for you.
Yep. And Jack's going to tell you a story about his experience at Comic-Con with Deadpool.
About Deadpool.
Or his Comic-Con experience without Deadpool.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
All right.
Spoiler. All right.
Sad panda. All right. Bye, everybody.
Deuces. See you next week.